Hey everyone, it's Clint. I am a writer of comics, and yesterday I made a video about Comicblast, which is Adobe's new product for supposedly for comics professionals. They say this is for making professional level comics. This is the kind of stuff you're going to get, but Adobe finally has addressed the backlash. So I'm going to go over some of the backlash as well as Adobe's statement regarding that backlash. So before we get into that, why would you want a page that looks like this when instead you could have a comic that has pages that look like this? Back Fatal, it's on Indiegogo right now. It's in the link in the description below. This is my book with Charlie Snogans, and it is fantastic, wildly successful, and not made with Comicblast. That's going to be a disclaimer going forward. So sort of as I get into this, it was funny. I was having the conversation with Charlie once about how people that aren't really that into comic books don't see the difference between art. Like you can see some pretty amateurish art and then some really high quality professional art, and to them it's it's negligible. But if you are actually into comics, granted, I think those are few people. Those few people showed up on Twitter basically and have been saying that Comicblast looks okay, but there aren't very many of them. The vast majority of people have been it's hilarious. So we'll get into it here. All right, so if you search Comicblast, hashtag Comicblast on Twitter, you can see that the entire comic book community is up in arms over this travesty that is software that purports to be professional, how you can make professional comic books made by people who love to read comics. Here's just one response. I love seeing comic book pros going ape over Adobe's Comicblast. In my opinion, it has a future in fields other than comics. I work in e-learning and I should see myself using it. I could see myself using it. You won't though. You won't use it because I know a little bit about e-learning, and trust me, it's just not true. You're not going to use it. There are other programs that are suited to what you need. All right, its motion GFX tool can potentially help creators create interactive promos for their comics. There are other tools that can do that as well and better. Here we go though. It never feels complete without that personal touch. That's a quote from their own video announcement. It's is not a phrase I'd ever associate with Adobe hashtag Comicblast, which actually removes the personal touch from makes the making comics process. Oh, and puts letters and some artists out of work. Excited Adobe Comics lady. I wouldn't be worried too much. This is not going to put letters and comic book artists out of business, because this is what you get. This is the worst lettering I have ever seen. I think my letterer, he's not even dead, and he's rolled over in his grave to see this. And this comic art is just sketches that have been darkened automatically by an algorithm. All right, so continuing on, I can't read that. Can't read that. All right, so here we go. Comicblast disrupts how comics are created and consumed through stupidity in design technology paradigms that make comic book creation excruciating and 100 times worse. There, Adobe Max fixed it for you. Ouch. Here we go. Watching a video on Adobe Max on their new Comicblast feature Photoshop has been developing. It's legit the worst Adobe has wasted the worst thing Adobe has wasted their time on. It doesn't even look like they used people who actually make comics. Looks like graphic designers as beta testers. I don't even think they just said, hey, we can make an algorithm that changes a script into something visual. Wow. Okay, so they did respond. I'm going to get to that. Eric Snowden responded, and he responded directly to Jim Zub, who I mentioned in my video yesterday. Jim Zub was saying, when Adobe introduces a new tool for photographers, they have actual professionals showing how to use it in the real world application and output. Comics, just shove that crap out there, make it look amateurish and unprofessional as possible. So Eric Snowden, who is Adobe, he's a VP at Adobe, leading design for Creative Cloud and Document Cloud. All right, so I don't really know if this is actually under her purview, but maybe it is. So he responded and he said, I don't think we framed this right. We have a ton of respect for what you all do, and personally, I'm a huge comic book fan. Have you seen the product? People keep saying that you like the idea of comics, but you don't like comics. If you did this, if you did this to comics, I see this as more of an exploration on how we could get new creators or kids to start making comics. Definitely not something a pro would pick up. Well, that's the problem. It's not that you might have framed it wrong. You think you framed it wrong. You intentionally said that it was for professionals. That's the problem. But when has Adobe made tools for kids? When have they invested all of this time and energy into making something for kids? I don't know. And I could hear people saying, Clint, why do you care? Why do you care? I don't know. It's just funny. That's all it comes down to. It's just funny, and people liked the video yesterday. That's what it comes down to. All right. So basically that's it. That's Comic Blast. I suspect a few things could happen. One, they're going to say they've already invested so much time and money into developing this product. And so the goal could be that they're going to fix its shortcomings and make it be a viable product for comic book professionals. Because, again, why would Adobe spend this time and energy in making something for kids that have no money? Why would they spend this time and energy into making something for e-learning when there are already products that they can utilize there? It doesn't make any sense. So they're either going to fix it, or it's going to quietly, they're going to take it behind the shed, so to speak. It'll quietly disappear, and it'll just be a faint memory from the past. We will see. I'm actually surprised, and I'm kind of happy though that Eric Snowden actually responded, because that was a really professional looking response. And the irony is that if the comic book industry, if comic book professionals, Marvel or DC, turns out a product that looks like it was made on this program and fans get upset, they will not treat you to that kind of mature response. So that is the big irony in all of this. Anyway, so thanks you for watching the video. Really appreciate you. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And if you haven't backed Fatal yet, check it out in the link in the description below. Help us get to $85,000, and I will see you in the next video.